It's a Gundam!
Super Draco here, and we're back for continuing Real Grade GaoGaiGar on It's a Gunpla, the show whose name I really did not think out very well. So today we're doing Liner Gao, the first of the Gao machines that engage in final fusion with GaiGar to become GaoGaiGar. So first off, Liner Gao always bothered me because, I just didn't understand where Liner Gao came from. Because that was the whole thing. Everything else made a lot of sense. The stealth fighter becoming the backpack and wings of GaoGaiGar. The drill tank becoming the legs. Again, perfect sense. But then the Japanese bullet train becomes the shoulders. That always felt weird to me, and I never fully understood how they came to that conclusion, or how that design came about. So, oddities aside, it is what it is, and we're going to go with it. Because I love GaoGaiGar, and so a lot of the weird stuff I'm just going to accept and go with because it makes life easier. Because when you're dealing with super robots, logic does not always apply. So what we're building here is the one of GaoGaiGar's upper arms. And with that done, I believe we're going to build the opposite one. So, as this runs on, I could continue talking, but honestly, I don't want to be negative because it's weird, but it's not hateful. Which, again, if you read GaoGaiGar versus Better Man, the manga, they actually did something cool. In the anime, at the end of the anime, Gailion and Mamoru went back to the trinary solar system. And so, without Gailion, they needed something, so they built a new machine for Guy, who he had gone from a cyborg to an evolver because of Mamoru's powers, who had purified him into a new being. So he was flesh and blood again, but he also had powers and abilities beyond a human. So what they did is they used the data from Gailion to build a new core machine, and they called it Gaofar. And Evolder Guy with a custom suit of armor could fuse with I believe it was Gaofar to become Figar, I believe, or Galfi or Guy Figar or Figai or something. And I don't remember all the details, but then that could undergo final fusion with a newly designed set of Gao machines to become Gao Figar. So Gao Figar used brand new machines, so it replaced Liner Gao with like a space shuttle type thing. An upgraded stealth Gao, and then it had an upgraded drill Gao. So at the end of GaoGaiGar Final, most of Star GaoGaiGar had been destroyed after it had been commandeered by a duplicate of Mamoru from an alternate version of the trinary solar system. Guy and Genesis, Guy Leon and Genesis GaoGaiGar, as well as GaoGaiGar, were still in the trinary solar system. So what they did is they used leftover parts from Star GaoGaiGar, GaoGaiGar, and then they built a new machine to go in the center and created a new machine called GaoGaiGo. And that was going to be the sequel series to GaoGaiGar, which was basically realized in the GaoGaiGar versus Betterman manga. Now, to cut back to the model, those little tiny wheels we are putting on Gowliners, I don't know what you call the axle for a train, but whatever you call those axles, you're putting little tiny wheels on them, and they actually roll. That is astonishing to me, how those little things actually roll fairly smooth. So now we're going to bring in something. I've seen this before on other kits, but not used in this application. These are plastic stickers. So they're a piece of plastic that has an adhesive backing. And so this is how we're going to put the train details on Gowliner. Or liner gal, I'm sorry. And it works. And I brought out my tweezers so we could make sure they were nice and straight. The other thing that bothers me about Liner Gao is the colors are off. He's that unusual shade of blue and mostly white. But as you can even see in this, it doesn't match that off-white that Guy Leon is made out of. Now you can see me using my scalpel to cut off an undergated piece I missed. Again, unlike Zabungle, it actually tells you the pieces are undergated. This was just error on my part, because I didn't catch it. And as much as I hate to admit it, the tweezers make the application of those stickers so much easier. And I just hate to admit it because I'm one of them that I'd like to think I can do almost everything with just my hands, but that is not the case. We need tools. Tools help, and they make our lives easier. Alright, and so with that first section done, now we're going to move on to the second section. So, Liner Gal is a bullet train, so a lot of the sections are mirrored. So because they're mirrored, I just did all of the building both sections in the same video. If you'd rather me split them up in the future, tell me down in the comments. Yes, I'm fishing for engagement because I'm losing all sense of shame. So first things first, I'm trying to get a good look at this because it has a little tiny cockpit. And I talked about this in a previous part because there was an episode where they had to have an operator in each Gao machine because the primitive AI was down. Because unlike their, like Volfog, Cho Ryujin, and I can't remember the other one's name, the yellow and green one, and the sisters, they only had a regular AI and not a super AI. Even Goldie Morg had a super AI, although it was modeled on a member of 3G's mind. So this piece is on a slider, and how it fit exactly was a little confusing to me, but as we can see, I got there. And this is something I ranted about in the Zabungle videos a lot, was the instructions were very unclear, and in a couple cases, the arms, they were missing, full on missing steps. Now this piece is, this little nub right here is undergated, but it's on such a narrow piece that it's really hard to get a nipper up in there to cut it. So bringing in our handy dandy scalpel, and I'm just going to go ahead and use this to trim all of the nubs. Now my technique's not great here, but it's working, so we're going to go with it. And, you know, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it looks like, you know, you can see it on the video that I'm getting pretty good results. Now, I could sand all this down to make it perfect, but since it's on the inside and it's not going to interfere with anything, it's not even rubbing any of the other parts, then I'm not super concerned about it. It's flush and it's not rubbing, so I don't need a part on the inside to look absolutely perfect. You know, is it a bit on the lazy side? Maybe. So we have the nose of our train. Now this fit I'm not super happy about, and I think I might have glued this on after the video. I'd have to double check my kit to be sure. Again, they did notify you it was undergated. I just wasn't paying attention. So unlike Zabungle, this is 100% my fault. And I do appreciate it. They got this translucent plastic for the little canopy. They also have that yellow piece for the lights, and may have also been a sensor. And again, that little tiny cockpit is just amazing to me. And then again, the translucent piece. And this is how I think translucent pieces should be done, because it's small and it's not bearing any load, so there's no risk of it cracking and breaking in the future. As I've said it a lot on this channel, but clear plastics are brittle. And because they're brittle, they tend to break. That's why I'm always scared when I get a transformer and I see clear plastics on transformation hinges. So we're getting low on plastic stickers, which is a good thing. And they cut them in such a way that when GaoGaiGar transforms, really there's nothing that can rub against them to loosen them or take them off. And I gotta admit, I was so skeptical about this little tiny plastic window, but I can't argue with the results. It looks good. It feels secure. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall out anytime soon. So, as much as I hate to admit it, Bandai kind of outdid themselves. But having said that, with them having this kind of technology, I kind of wish they would do like pilot symbols in these plastic stickers and then put a resource on it, like a recessed section on the model for the plastic sticker to sink into. Because that'd be cool, like with the Amuro symbol on New Gundam or any of the other pilots with a custom symbol. So, now that we've done one side, we're going to do one more again and get the other side done. Now, this kit, I've been gushing a lot about it, but it went above and beyond every complaint I had with Zabungle, because it even tells you what the last part of each section you're going to use is. The little manual actually says all parts from tree, whatever sprue have been used. And you can actually see it on the manual under my left arm. It says all the parts on runner K have been used. And that's such a nice touch. In a kit like this where there's not a lot of repeated parts, not a big deal, but I hope they're doing that in the new master grades and stuff. Oh, I mentioned upcoming content in another video. I actually have another episode of It's a Gunpla in the works, and to the shock of everybody in this audience, I will actually be building Gunpla. I have a original master grade Wing Zero that I got from my brother, who it was a duplicate, and we're going to do a custom job on it. I am going to do a custom paint job on it. And I'll go ahead and say it now. I'm going to paint it kind of like Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Because I already found a giant katana for him. So anyhow, we'll talk about that when the time is right. And so with that translucent piece, all that's left is to sticker it up, and we are done with Liner Gao. Quick and easy. And there's an irony to this. Liner Gao is the most boring part of GaoGaiGar. But I would actually argue, as a model build, this was one of the most satisfying. And there is something else to this, because on this channel we've seen me build battleships, figures, various Gunpla. But one thing I haven't done in a long, long time, and in the adult scale, is a model train. So that might be something to consider in the future. So, and with this little tiny window, we finish up Liner Gao. I'm going to get Guy Leone for a group shot, and then we're out. So I want to say thanks for watching. Check out the next part, because the Drill Gao is actually next. and check out my fantasy story on Fiction Press, King of Mercenaries. Thanks for watching.